Friedman.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Mayor Sinanian.
Okay, and for the Economic Development Corporation, please.
Board members Devine. Friedman.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Chair Sinanian.
And may we have your report?
The agenda for the February 10, 2015 joint public meeting of the City Council and Economic Development Corporation was posted on Friday, February 6, 2015 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Before you is the Director of Economic Development regarding update on Class A Office Attraction and Tech Company Cluster Attraction Initiative. 1A is a motion to adjust goals to develop strategy specific to the market.
Thank you. Mr. Ochoa?
Yes, sir. We actually would ask that we hold this item over until the, I believe, the 10th of March. Again, unfortunately, we are without a couple of council members, and as you know, we are dark next week for the holiday, and then we have a meeting in the north end of town by way of city council in your neighborhood, and then work boot Tuesday on the 24th. So the next regular meeting after today would be in March. And we are hoping to do this actually on March 10th, not March 3rd, but to be able to provide you some very good news both about the office vacancy rate that's been abated by our economic development team and our new initiative working on technology and cultivating technology clusters. So with your indulgence, we would hold this item over.
Yeah, and there's no action required. This is just a report, correct?
Update
so there's
for council.
No harm in punching
That's
it a
correct. That's correct.
Okay, then. What was the date that you had proposed?
March 10th is the date that we're looking at, sir.
little. Need a motion?
I just have a question,
Mr.
not a quick comment. Rubik, I'd like to sit with you. The revised plans and specs, then you list everything. I want to know what.
Different one.
Different item, Mr. Weaver.
Huh?
That's a different item. We're taking that item up after this particular item.
That's the library item up next.
Okay.
I would like to hear, though, on this item, what the prospects are for attracting medical.
Looking at.
The economic development speaker mentioned today that the medical growth in the medical field is significant. In light of our 3 very highly rated hospitals, let's see if you can include some information on the growth as well. I mean, if you want to count Kaiser, we've got 4, and I think there's a lot happening in terms of medical. That might be more attainable, readily attainable than pursuing the next Yahoo or the next Google or whatever. So you can include that. And I saw your definition of tech does include medical to some extent, but give us a little bit of information on that as well.
Definitely, sir.
Okay, then. We don't need a motion, so without further discussion, this item will be continued to the March 10th meeting of the joint meeting of the Glendale City Council and Glendale Economic Development Corporation. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? For council's adjourned, and for the EDC? Motion.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Weaver. We are adjourned for the EDC.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was our last little,
There's one more.
but we do have one more. Okay.
I had it buried.
I will call to order the joint meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Successor Agency for February 10th, 2015. May we have the roll call for the council, please?
Council members Devine. Friedman.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Mayor Sinanian. Mayor Pro Tem Najarian.
Here. And for the Successor Agency?
Agency members Devine. Friedman.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Chair Sinanian. Vice Chair Najarian.
Here. May we have your report?
Agenda for February 10th, 2015 joint public meeting of the City Council and Successor Agency was posted on Friday, February 6, 2015 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. For is Director of Public Works and Library, Arts and Culture continued from January 27, 2015 and February 3, 2015 regarding Central Library renovation project in connection with specification number 3551R. 1A is a council resolution adopting revised plans and specs and directing the city clerk to advertise for bids. B is agency resolution adopting revised plans and specs and directing city clerk to advertise for bids.
Mr. Ochoa.
I believe we've set a record at this point for 5 different agendas in one.
Yeah, last one I had buried.
I think
Sorry,
if we do
Rubik.
one more, we get like a
Jumping the
set of
gun on
steak
this.
knives or something. What you have right now, however, is Joint City Council successor agency as it pertains to the Central Library renovation project. After a couple of fits and starts in how we agendize this item, it is here before you in the afternoon because, as you recall, as part of this current fiscal year's budget, we have appropriated money from the city's general fund to be repaid using tax-exempt bond proceeds that would flow back to replenish the general fund reserve to the tune of $5 million, presuming that that gets approved by the State Department of Finance, and that if it did not get approved by the State Department of Finance, we would use those proceeds to pay debt service, thus freeing up money back to the city via the successor agency and thus be able to still replenish the general fund reserve. Lots of bureaucratic maneuvering trying to wade through the morass that is the dissolution of redevelopment in California, but it should not be lost that what all of this is about and what all of this is for is a very important project, not just for the Department of Library, Arts, and Culture, as that's been outlined and envisioned by the mayor and council, but also as the southern anchor for our arts and entertainment district in the downtown. So with that, I'm going to bring up our Department of Public Works Director, Mr. Rubik Golanian, who will walk you through the specs for the bid that will go out and hit the streets. And while we don't usually do presentations on the adoption of specs, again, this is momentous enough of a project. I'm sure council will be getting lots of questions about it that we want you to be very comfortable about what we're asking the market to respond to. With that, Rubik, take us through.
Could I ask my questions, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem? Rubik, we rebid this before. There's been changes made in the plans and specs.
Right.
I was trying to figure out what changes were made. I just saw the total breakdown of everything.